Welcome to the Silhouettes of Success podcast with your host, successful entrepreneur, broker, and business mentor, Amber Weitzer. Because success comes in all shapes, sizes, and styles, the Silhouettes of Success podcast is shining the light on industrious women with a collection of curated conversations of intentional inspiration designed to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, feed your soul, and gift you with actionable insights directly from inspirational, everyday women who've shown tenacity, grit, and grace, having taken on the challenges in their lives and business and won. Remarkable, down-to-earth, and relatable, Amber and her guests will share with you uplifting and extraordinary real-life success stories, motivational ideas that just might help spark something within you. With the deepest desire to serve you, help you grow so you can begin to shine the light that will illuminate your very own silhouette of success. So, let's get to it.
Hello and welcome to the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success. Have you ever met someone whose aura is just radiating with the brightest of light? Well, our VIP featured guest is just that someone. When I first saw her, she lit up the room and still does to this day. She is bilingual, speaking both English and Spanish. She is a branch manager with over 20 years in the mortgage industry. She has been featured in D Magazine, a popular Dallas publication, in 2020 and 2021 for Best Mortgage Professionals. She has been listed in Scotsman Guide for top units, as well as listed in Mortgage Executive as a top 1% of mortgage originators, and has also been on the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers of America's top 100 list. She's married to an Army veteran, has a big blended family of 8 children with ages ranging from 24 to 3-year-old twins. So please help me warmly welcome Christina Luna. Hello, my lady. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
That
was a really nice intro. Thank you.
Well, girl, you deserve that and 1,000 times more. Oh, it is so good to connect with you. Thank you for spending time with us today and sharing your Silhouette of Success story.
I love it. I just love this concept. I think it's a great idea, and I would love to share my story if, hopefully somebody out there likes it and gets inspired.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And full disclosure for the audience, I was able to get to know Christina through a leadership program, and then we stay connected from time to time just because of our industry. So I am thrilled that she's here with you, audience, to share a little bit about her. So, Christina, as we get to visit with you and hear a snippet of your story, help illustrate for the audience the early shaping of your silhouette of success, maybe by talking a little bit about your background.
Well, let's start with how I got in the business. I started a long time ago, and I think a lot of people in our industry probably had similar experiences, and that's how they got in the business. But I bought my first house when I was 19. My daughter was 1 when we finally moved in. So, I needed a place to start a family. So I started really young. And when I bought my house, the mortgage company that helped us told us we were going to get an FHA loan. Knowing now what I know, there was absolutely no way we would have qualified for that type of financing. And we were building a house. And so when the house was ready, about 2 weeks before we closed, the mortgage company that we were working with told us that we were going to need like $5,000 more to close. And we were not doing FHA. We were doing a different type of loan that had like a first and a second lien. So we had 2 payments, and they were talking about prepayment penalties and all this stuff. And I'm like, whoa. I had no clue. I didn't know what all these terms that they were talking about. And luckily we had the money and we were able to close even, being so young. We had been scraping and saving, to get in this house. And So the experience just kind of sucked. I thought the communication was poor, and I really wanted to offer something different to people and understand it for myself, because I'm like, this was kind of a big deal, and I really didn't understand everything that went on. So I really wanted to make sure that people that we worked with, understood the process, understood the whys, and, were given good information. There wasn't any bait and switch going on, like that was just, our payments were a lot higher, and we struggled at first when we got in that house. We were kind of living for our payments, and so I just didn't want people to have that same experience. I wanted to be able to offer something better.
It's so scary out there, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, that was years
Oh,
ago. There were so many different type of programs, and most of those don't
yeah.
exist anymore. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
there's a lot to learn about mortgages for sure. And real estate, it's a lot
Yeah.
of information.
There is. It's those things that people don't do on a daily. And just like what you said, because you experienced that, you discovered that maybe, I don't know, do we go as dramatic as saying it's a calling or a passion? Um, but you have a innate passion to help and care and nurture for people. And so it goes hand in hand. It's just something that you encountered. And so you were able to roll with it, I guess, right?
Yes, obviously, with having a blended family with six, or with eight, six, with eight, I lose count. So many of them. We're like the Brady Bunch on steroids. So with having children like that, that's just kind of how I feel. I definitely care and want to nurture, and that just passes on to our clients.
Yeah, it does. It does. Nothing but kudos at feedback from your clients. This I know. Okay, milady. So the alarm clock goes off figuratively, whether it's, one of them jumping in the bed and waking you up, or whether it's your alarm clock or phone, whatever you use, and your work day or your household, your day begins. What is a day in the life look like for you? Given the dynamics of the house, are you structured? Are you more spontaneous? Talk to us a little bit about that, because we kind of learn from each other best practices sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I think my day starts the night before for sure, because have to look at my schedule, see what I have going on for the next day so that I can be prepared, make sure, if it's Jamma day for the twins, I've got their jammas or crazy socks or whatever they have going on. So definitely my day starts the night before, making sure I'm planning it out and that I'm prepared to start that next morning. The kids don't jump in the bed in the early morning, but they do crawl in. Our twins are almost 3, so they crawl in the morning, probably around 2 or 3 in the morning. And so my day is with me waking up with a twin laying across my face, probably hand, feet, whatever.
Right.
So not much sleep, I would say, for sure, with that uncomfortableness, but snuggleness. It's like uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of snuggle.
Right.
So definitely wake up early with the kids, getting them ready for school, and then off to the office. But I think the biggest thing is my planning it the day before is helps me to get going. But so I do have some kind of structure. I have to have a plan. I have to have a schedule. But at the same time, with having such a big family, and that's what's so great about our jobs, is that they are flexible. It's we've gotten to a point where we can really make, if we need to get interrupted for our kids or whatever we have going on, we have that flexibility to do so. So I have to be able to be flexible. So
Yeah.
it's structured, but with little interruptions.
We learn to be versatile.
Yes.
Yeah, anything can come our
Juggling.
way. Yes, yes. Oh, that's so cool. And yeah, it's so I can picture, it was so funny how you're saying the hands or the feet, because as they grow, they just get a little stronger and stronger when they're rolling around all over you too. That's what's
Oh my goodness. And the one, I mean, I swear there's 2. So there's 2 in the bed, and it's a king size bed, but it's just not big enough. And I have probably like a little bitty teeny tiny corner of the bed, and
Oh, I love it. Cherish
little
these
people, but
moments,
they take
right?
up so much space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. Yeah, they're like snow angels in the bed sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh, girl. Okay. We sit there, and especially with everything that we're able to witness in everyone's lives, on social media, or websites or just, podcasts or different things that we hear and see, magazines. You were featured, of course, in some really fantastic publications as women and men, but we focus on women on this podcast. So we might sit back and scratch our heads and think, how does she do it all? They don't see what's going on behind the scenes. They don't see this. But really, how would you say you are able to get done to the quality and care that you do, get done what you do on a daily with the work side? We'll talk about the work side today.
I just learned to ask for help. So I now have a team of people, thankfully, and I've just have learned to let go. That was just, really a job in itself, learning to actually let go and find the people who are good at the parts that you need help with and that will take it and run with it and even do a better job than you would if you were trying to juggle it all.
So when you say let go, are you talking, do you like
Of
to
my
have
control
control?
Of my control issues, I feel like I'm up here, like I'm the puppeteer and I need to make sure I have my hand in everything.
Yeah.
As our kids get older, I'm sure that you understand how hard that can be too, as we lose that control when they want to be on their own. But just letting go of the stuff, like understanding that they are going to take care of it, they are going to do their job. So you obviously have to have the right people, that you have that trust in them, and they understand their expectations and they're able to do what you need them to do and care about it just as much as you do.
Yeah. So again, I wasn't going to put words in your mouth, so I'm glad you glad you piped up control.
Yes, my kids call me a mother, but I'm a smother. That's
I love it. That's okay. I'm the fun killer. So
yeah. Oh
Oh, I
yeah.
love that.
I'm a smother. I love to be in their business, they say.
Mother, that's okay. We'll take it too. So was that hard for you? I mean, some people can, we talk through it and they're like, okay, yeah, I hired but was it really hard to let go? Do you find yourself, is it a skill that is a learned and developed skill for you?
It is a skill that I work on every day
Yeah.
because, it is like I just have, because I do want to make sure that everything is done. But I think that what you also have to do is, inspect what you expect. So, I just have to make sure I do my meetings and my follow ups and just make sure that I'm following up to get that everything is getting done as it should. But yes, that is definitely a struggle when you are a smother.
Oh, that's awesome. I like what you said. Inspect what you expect. That's cool because that puts accountability on you as well as the leader.
Oh, for sure. I think that I tend to take, I feel like every part of the transaction, every part of the office, of course, and everything that goes on is ultimately, I have to look at myself and see what I could have done better in the situation. Can't put blame just on one person or one instance. You have to figure out what is it that you need to do next time, so that it's an easier, smoother, or that doesn't happen again.
That's cool. And that takes that ownership and again, accountability and making sure as the leader that you're,
Absolutely.
yeah, staying on top of it. All right, my lady, in the intro, I was able to see some of your fantastic business accolades and share those just a small snippet with the audience. But thinking about those or maybe something else that wasn't mentioned, what would you say are some of your most treasured accomplishments or successes? And that can be business or personal, because again, it's a complete silhouette. So, what would you share with us that you're most proud of?
Oh, just the progress, of where I came and where I am now. I mean, that to me is huge. I think I'm always looking to be better and improve myself. And I'm the hardest person on myself. I think we always are, of how much I could do better and be better. But at the same time, I'm very thankful for where I am and becoming a branch manager. That was a big step, just trying to manage people and having the responsibility now of growing an office. And it's still very new to me. So this is, I'm still in the middle of that challenge, but also making it through the big mortgage real estate crash in 2008. That was a different time for me as I was also going through like some personal things. I had just gotten a divorce and now was single. My company that I worked for went out of business. And so I had to start over and decide if that's what I wanted to do. Do I want to start over and try a new career? Or, because so many people were getting out of the industry during that time, So I just kind of took off a year from work and focused on my kids, because also, that's a lot for them to handle. And I wanted to make sure they were okay. And I went back to school for a little bit thinking that I would be like a coach. I was thinking about being like a middle school athletic coach, because I'm a big kid myself, I think, especially at that time. And so, I just realized that that wasn't really what I felt like I wanted to do. I love the idea of a schedule for the teachers, although I feel like teachers definitely work a lot more than what people really think, for sure. Taking care of
Yes.
somebody
Yeah.
else's kids is not easy. But, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to get back in the business. And to me, that's really when my business started. I've been in it for 20 years, but I started out doing loans kind of like a job and not so much as a career. I didn't really think forward very much on it.
Mm.
So when I got back in the business, I started at Prime Lending in 2009, and I didn't really have a lot of production at that time because a lot of the people I knew had gotten out of the business. My referral partners were no longer selling real estate or building homes. And so I had to start building a new business and just thinking about it in a different way. My manager invited me a few years into a retreat for building champions. And it's like a coaching program. And I was super proud that I invested in myself to go and do that, because I learned so much about myself and just things to help develop myself personally as well as in business. Those are some of the things. But, I'm super proud too of where I am with my family and my husband and some of the things that we're doing. We're trying to branch out, and, mortgage is obviously my passion. I'm never going to stop helping people buy homes, because I think that's so helpful to families to be able to create financial wealth for themselves, and talking to people about investing in real estate and opening up their minds to something besides just buying that first house, and I really enjoy doing that. So I don't want to let that go. But we started also some other businesses, and we're really trying to branch out and just do more things.
I am just enamored listening to you. And it was so fresh what you said, the progress just kind of stopped me. I was taking notes and I was like, wow, you have accomplished so much. And then you sit there and you think about the lifetimes within a lifetime sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yay.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have thought that where I was in high school. I mean, my mother was a single mom, and, we were at times on welfare. So I think part of my hustle and my grind is like, that's never gonna, I can't have that happen. Like, I know that at
Yeah.
first in that 2009, that was my thought process. Like, this is not going to happen to me and my kids. Like, there's no way, I'm rebuilding this, and there is just no chance for failure. Like, there is no room for it, and it's just not going to happen.
Strong mindset. Love that. Love that. And yeah, the grind. But you do it with grace. So the grace and the grind. You do it
Thank
with
you.
panache, girl.
Thank
Oh,
you.
man. So thinking about that too, because you talked a little bit about your career and reflecting back and then the progress of where you are. Is there something that you wish someone had told you before you entered down this path?
Yeah, I think that Building Champions seminar, the retreat that I went to, if I had that knowledge, like when I started out in life, honestly, even before, rebuilding my career, it just would have been helpful about planning and time management and just learning to be more of a professional and not being afraid to take risks. That's definitely something I wish that I had known when I started, or had the confidence to do.
Yes, I do know. Yes, I'm shaking my head. Yes. And sometimes would you agree that it's about timing? It's about us maybe maturing into a different level of ourselves that we're able to do that.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree, for sure. I'm just looking forward to, when I was younger, I couldn't imagine being 44. And now I'm 44 and I'm like, dang, I used to think that was so old. But now,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying aging and
Yeah.
growing. And so I'm super excited actually and thankful, honestly, because
Yes.
thankful to be here and just see all the changes that develop in our life and with our families, with having so many kids and, all of the different things that they're doing, and just really appreciative to be a part of it.
It's exciting. Do you find that to be true? It's exciting.
It's exciting and it's scary, and then it's that
Yeah.
control in me where I'm like, "Oh."
And we're back,
And
folks.
and it's also no, but it's also, like, because we have
Yeah.
now, you think about your parents and, like, how they tried to guide you, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Man, she was right, like, if I would've just listened to her." And you just wanna instill that in your kids, like,
And
you don't want
okay,
them to
yeah,
go through the same trials, you want them to, like, "Hey, I've done that," you know?
right. Yeah, don't do that. No, bad, bad. But But do you find sometimes too that because she's 25 now. I was going to say 24 because I remembered yours, but she's 25. But there's those moments or those phases to where you think, did I do everything wrong? Did they just not, we're off the rails here. But then later, all of a sudden you see all of the different seeds that you planted.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, it is there. And then all of a sudden
Alright,
it starts to blossom.
she was
Right.
listening.
Yeah, right. But that is so cool as a parent.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So thinking too, all right. So do you have in your business realm or even your personal, and you talked about you and your husband are starting some different business adventures, and that's thoroughly exciting. Do you, in any of these sections of your world, do you find yourself that you have maybe hard and fast goals? Do you have accountability? How do you stay on track to get things achieved?
So I have like a business plan that I write out every year. It's very simple. It's not like a long 5-page business plan because I find that I probably won't go back and read that. So I have a 1-page thing that I use. It has my goals for the year. I'll put business and personal, and then it has steps that I take on either a daily, a weekly, or monthly basis. Things that are going to help me to create those goals. And then I have task lists that I put in place that are and I revisit it every quarter. So every quarter I update it to see if there's something I need to change. Obviously, if I'm completing tasks that are done, my tasks have to be completed by a certain date. So I'll go in and, re-add new tasks that I need to do to develop those goals. And that's not something that I've always done. So that's something I wish I knew from the beginning. But it being one page and perfectly visible for me in front of me so that I can see it, it's a constantly reminder. And that to me is accountability. But I also have a partner that I share my business plan or personal plan with. And we also do vision boards with our family. So those are some of the things that kind of help keep me on track, I think.
You've
And then
got a,
looking at
yeah.
those 8 faces every day, that's pretty good reminder.
Yes, right. Yeah, there's a good reminder too. So you do a vision board with the family. That's really cool.
Yes, now I say family, just the girls, because I can't get the boys in there to, do any cutting and pasting and
Yeah.
all of that. But yeah, with me and the girls, we do it.
Oh, that's cool. That is way cool.
Yes, but what's really cool is that I was saying to them, the ones that I put on there last year, and there's two. I'm like, look, we've done these, we've completed these goals, so now we have to create new ones. And so, how amazing is that? Like as a family, we're meeting these goals that we created, and we're having to even reach higher and create new ones. So it's exciting.
It is cool. Again, the example and the tangible results that you are instilling by doing this with them. And while the boys might not want to cut and paste and go off through that, they are definitely paying attention. They're
Yeah.
low key
Oh, we
paying
talk about
attention for sure.
it.
Oh, that's so cool. And with that, maybe talking on that same topic before we turn to something different here, you just talked about the vision board with your family.
Yeah.
And family, the fellows are participating. We know that. But with what you're doing in your life, or maybe it's with, the new business adventures with your husband, or maybe it's with your partner at work, what positive adjustments do you think you've made in your life to support these goals?
Ooh.
Tricky, tricky.
Yes. I think the accountability and just following the plan, I
Yeah.
really feel like the steps that I put in there that we have to do, regularly are happening. And so those are positive because I'm doing them. So I got on that one, Amber.
That's well, you answer the question so we can just check and move on.
No, I love that. That's true because that's not something to sneeze at, to handle these tasks on a daily, because without doing the tasks, you don't reach that milestone and you don't reach that goal and you don't go on vacation together. you know?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's huge. All right, my lady, we're going to take a quick break to hear from this episode's sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Is it time to sell your home? Build that dream home? Right size? Or are you ready to invest in real estate? Couture Real Estate Firm is a local female-owned independent brokerage laser-focused on services exclusively tailored to our clients' real estate goals. With our forward-thinking business model, we have a fully mobile, luxury real estate concept allowing convenience, flexibility, efficiency for our clients in style. Amber Weitzer, broker-owner of Couture Real Estate Firm, has over 20 years in the real estate industry and is a second-generation broker. She provides straightforward business practices, integrity, and intelligence with a commitment to a high-touch, consistent customer service experience. We take great pride in our reputation as a strong, referral-based brokerage. Discretion, tenacity, respect, and proactive business practices have earned Couture Real Estate Firm a loyal, repeat client business with a trusted global partner network. We strive for ultimate client satisfaction with successful results, doing it with class, consciousness, and a little avant-garde. In addition to serving our clients and vendor partners, we are extremely honored to be actively engaged in supporting the communities we serve by promoting small businesses, schools, and nonprofits. Real estate is direct sales business at its core, and we are highly trained sales professionals with the Mike Ferry organization, adding dimension to the industry. Passionate about customer service, dedicated to client satisfaction, and driven to achieve successful results for our clients. Call Couture Real Estate Firm today at 817-233-7239 to discuss your real estate goals.
All right, we are back. So, respecting schedules here, I'm looking at the clock. So, we're going to dive into a little bit more about Christina and maybe what feeds your soul, or how do you, because you've got a lot going on. Your industry that you're in is intense, there's timelines and there's details and there's emotions and everything that's going on there. Plus, you're leading a team, and then you come home. You got the kids and the family and the husband and all those things. How do you relax and unwind, and what feeds your soul?
You know what I like to do? I do like to read, but I like to read fiction like Danielle Steele and just get lost in a romance novel when when I have a little free time. And once I get stuck on a book, I just like have to finish it. It's kind of like I'm binge watching a Netflix show. So that's what I like to do to unwind. But I also I enjoy doing yoga. I don't do enough of it, but when I do, it is the best feeling in the world. Just stretching and breathing and meditating and just clearing your headspace every once in a while. It feels amazing.
Good for you. You release it all. Release.
Breathe, just
Ah,
breathe.
I'm hitting mine with fly swatters, and you're just over there, zenning.
When I have a moment of quiet, yeah.
Right? Very good.
Once
All
everybody gets to
right.
bed.
Yeah. Is that when you are, is evening your time, your peace, quiet time, or is it, well, it can't be super early. You've got
It's not super early
twins
because
now.
they're up. Every time I think
Yeah.
I'm going to get up super early and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get my coffee and I'm going to zen a moment. And then it's basically like either I end up washing dishes and doing laundry, or the babies wake up. Babies are not babies anymore, but they'll come in, and want to snuggle, and which I love. But, I don't, the early mornings are never quiet for me. So usually like late at night. Yeah, or up early in the morning and then I stay up late at night.
Well, you mentioned early on minimal sleep. So,
Yes. It's
yeah,
hard to sleep when you've got like a foot in your face,
it is. Oh my gosh. So
kicking you in
you're,
your jaw.
yeah, right. Yeah. Telling you. They get stronger. That's a thing. I know. Yes, I know. Oh, so
I know
you're
I
the,
should get up and take them back to bed, but I'm like, oh, one day they're not going to do this. It's fine.
that's right. I know. I know. Yeah. Soak it up, girl. Soak it up. Okay. All right. So as we begin to start to wrap up, we all value great resources, whether it's a favorite book or resource or mentor influence, anything that you can think of to share with the audience that might help uplift or inspire, encourage us. You've mentioned a couple of great things so far, but is there anything else you can think of that maybe the audience would be able to check out themselves?
I just think that you always have to look for the yes. Look for the yes, and you're going to find it. And don't ever just take the no for the answer, because I feel like that's how I'm able to try so many different things and be able to make sure all my loans get approved.
Mhm.
Of course, you have to know your stuff and know what you're talking about, but there's always going to be a yes, and you've got to stay positive and motivate yourself. I look at a lot of successful women. I know a lot of very successful women. And for me, I feel like that's my motivation, is that I'm always, for example, you, Amber, you have yourself always looking together, gorgeous at all times. And I know you have so much going on, successful businesswoman. And, look to the other women that are in your life and that you see, and look to them also for motivation. I feel like you can find it, right in your back door. There's always some woman who's working super hard and hustling for her children and running her household, running a business and multiple businesses. There's somebody there that you can seek inspiration from, but, always staying positive and definitely find that yes.
I love that. And thank you for the compliment, but ditto back at you. Because we collaborate, we learn from each other. And there's so many influences that you don't know that you've had on me. So it's a mutual appreciation and respect. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, my lady, as we close out here, the stage is yours. Where can our audience go to find and connect with you, whether it be on your socials or whatever you'd want to share to support you in your continued success?
Well, thank you so much. I would love to hear from you guys. You can visit me on my Instagram. It's the Luna Team Home Loans. And I'm also on Facebook, Christina Luna. And if anybody would like to get a purchase plan, the personalized plan to help them get into a home within the next year, if it's a dream or an idea of yours, we want to help you make it a reality. And so we'll put a plan together, overall assessment of everything, income, assets, credit, whatever it is that you need, budgeting, helping you budget to help you develop that plan and put it into place and walk you through the steps to get there. So you can visit my website at thelunateam.com, and we would love to hear from you.
Magnificent. And we will, just so you know, and I always say this to the audience, we will make sure and include those links in the resource section in the show notes here when your episode releases. So
Wonderful.
yes. All right, my lady. It has been a sheer delight visiting with you today. Christina, thank you once again for sharing your silhouette of success with us. You are a true inspiration for us all.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Awesome. All right, my lady. Until next time, have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Silhouettes of Success podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out and join us for all the new episodes. We are here for you and with you. We encourage you to share this podcast on all your socials and pass on the light to help illuminate another silhouette of success. Amber would love to hear from you, and you can find her on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or head over to amberweitzer.com. Let's connect. Help us all shine and leave us a review too. To find out the latest ways to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, and gain actionable insights, subscribe at amberweitzer.com. We are honored, humbled, and full of joy that you've tuned in. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be, right here with us. This is the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success.